Government authorities from the United States have reported that Russian troops have been sent to an airbase in Niger that is home to American military. The decision was made after the military rulers of Niger issued an order to the United States about the withdrawal of troops that had been fighting Islamic rebels in the region. A military agreement that had permitted the deployment of United States personnel in Niger was terminated by the junta that ruled the country. The declaration was made by the leader of Niger during the same week that a delegation from Washington had been in Niamey for discussions with the leadership of the country's military. This comes as the leader of Niger gets closer to Russia and after French troops were expelled from the country in December. Niger's military spokesman, Colonel Amadou Abdrahman, issued a damning declaration on national television, stating that the presence of the United States of America on the territory of the Republic of Niger is illegal and violates all the constitutional and democratic rules that would require the sovereign people to be consulted on the installation of a foreign army on its territory. In addition to this, he asserted that the United States delegation had accused Niger of engaging in a covert agreement to provide Iran with uranium. Cynical, and reminiscent of the Second Iraq War, were the words that Colonel Abdrahman used to describe the claim. Last but not least, he made the suggestion that the United States had expressed concerns regarding the allies that Niger had selected. The government of Niger therefore strongly denounces the condescending attitude combined with the threat of reprisals by the head of the American delegation against the government and the people of Niger, Col. Abdrahman pointed out. The United States of America started investing over $100 million, £79 million, in a drone base in the key city of Agadez, which is located 750 kilometers northeast of Niamey. According to reports, it was utilized for the purpose of conducting surveillance and targeting militants affiliated with Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State who were operating in the larger Sahel region. Jihadist activity in the Sahel region has resulted in unrest in a number of nations, including Niger, which has also led to coups in two of its surrounding states, Mali and Burkina Faso. Niger is not the only country that has been affected by this instability. Currently, the three nations have come together to create a military alliance. In December, French forces, who had been assisting in the fight against the jihadists, left the nation as a result of growing disdain against France, a country that had used to be a colonial power. There are indications that Niger is becoming closer to Russia. The Prime Minister of Algeria, Ali Mohamed Lamine Zeine, who was nominated by the junta, traveled to Moscow in December of last year to explore economic and military connections. Col. Abdrahman, a spokesperson for the military, stated that Niger is negotiating with Russia in order to acquire military equipment necessary to its fight against the terrorists who have claimed thousands of innocent Nigerian victims under the indifferent eye of much of the international community. This statement was made in reference to the country's relations with Russia. According to statements made by officials from the United States, Russian military were present at the facility in Niamey, the capital of Niger, but they were not interacting with American troops. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin stated that the Russians did not present any risk to the United States military. According to Mr. Austin, who was speaking to journalists in Honolulu, Hawaii, the Russians are located in a separate compound and do not have access to the United States forces or access to our equipment. Niger is located in the Sahel area of Africa, which is often regarded as the new worldwide powerhouse of the Islamic State gang. Since the United States criticized the military dictatorship that was in power in the country the previous year, its relations with the country's ruling military regime have deteriorated. The United States has relied on the country as its major base for monitoring regional terrorist activity. Niger, on the other hand, has decided to seek support from Russia in its fight against the Islamist terrorists in the southern region of the country. It is believed that the Russians who have been stationed at Airbase 101, which is located at the international airport in Niamey, are from the military training sector. It is stated that they are occupying a wing that is located near to a group of United States forces. Beginning in the beginning of this year, officials in Niger informed the United States that approximately 60 Russian troops would be sent to the country. At this point in time, it is not clear how accurate that figure is. It was estimated that there were at least 650 United States forces stationed in Niger. However, it is not known how many American troops are still stationed at Airbase 101. It is believed that the majority of the United States military personnel stationed in Niger are located at a drone base near the city of Agadez, which is located approximately 750 kilometers northeast of Niamey. Since Russia began its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, relations between the United States and Russia have been deteriorating at an alarming rate. The United States has been spearheading Western efforts to send weaponry to the Ukrainians. On the other hand, Paul Melly, an expert for West Africa at the Chatham House think tank, has stated that he does not believe there is any possibility of a conflict between Russian and American soldiers. In an interview with the BBC, Mr. Melly stated that the United States of America had made significant efforts to remain in Niger. However, the leadership of the country's military had rejected their attempts to bind their security assistance to a schedule for the return to civilian authority. For the junta, the attraction of the Russians is that they make no demands about governance and democratic rules, Mr. Melly explained to reporters. Mr. Melly stated that there was no evidence to suggest that the Russians had been pressuring Niger, Mali, or Burkina Faso to push Western forces out of the country. Nonetheless, it is certain that the Russians had taken advantage of the situation. In addition, he stated that it is still not apparent what kind of contribution the Russians will make to the security position of Niger. The United States is eager to maintain its engagement with both Chad and Niger, according to the chief of the United States Africa Command, who spoke with the BBC. The most significant danger to the peace and security of Africa, according to General Michael Langley, is the presence of violent extremist organizations. Following concerns voiced by the officials of the Chadian military regarding the presence of the troops in advance of the elections scheduled for May 6, dozens of servicemen withdrew from the country. As part of their efforts to combat an Islamist insurgency in the Sahel region, a number of other countries in the region that are run by the military have recently increased their connections with Russia and severed their ties with France, which was a colonial power in the region. The ultimate goal of the United States, according to General Langley, is to continue a dialogue with those countries that have been taken over by military regimes in order to put them on a roadmap back to democracy. Niger and Burkina Faso, both of which have also been subject to recent military coups, made the announcement in the previous year that they would be following Mali's lead and withdrew from the G5 international force that had been established to combat Islamists in the region. Instead, the three countries that are governed by the military have formed their own coalition, which is known as the Alliance of Sahel States. Niger issued an order in March for all United States troops to depart the country. Col. Amadou Abdrahman, a spokesperson for the military, made the accusation that the United States had raised concerns over the associates that Niger had selected. The countries of Africa have the authority to decide with whom they will form partnerships. Should the US be concerned about who sovereign countries partner with? Please mention it in your comment. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you would like it and subscribe to my channel so that you may be notified when the next video is posted.